Can we all just agree that President Snow was the worst in the Hunger Games? Like, was he born that way? And who made him president anyway? Hello, I'm Allie, the literary sewist. Here in my crafting castle, I create projects inspired by the books I review. So grab a can of beans, sit back, and let me tell you why A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes inspired a charcoal and rainbow sewing project. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing to my channel for future installments of my bookish sewing goodness. A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is a prequel to the original Hunger Games trilogy by Suzanne Collins. This takes place 50 years before Katniss is even born. So in this story we have Coriolanus Snow, yes, the future president of Panem. He is in his last year of school before university. This is also the 10th anniversary of the start of the Hunger Games following the end of the war. This is also the first year that they will have mentors for the games. Prior to this, tributes were just thrown into an arena and left to battle it out until one of them was left standing. So this year, they have mentors. They're not the previous year's winners as we know them in the Hunger Games trilogy. The mentors will be students from Snow's school. So Snow does get selected to be one of the mentors, thinking with his name and his family's notoriety, he's going to get one of the premier districts, one of the ones that always wins or has a higher chance of winning. But he gets assigned to District 12, which we all know is the bottom row of all the districts and the least chance for any tribute to win. Being a mentor in the games is giving Snow the opportunity to advance into university. Ever since the war, his family has had a very difficult time financially and just making their bills and getting food on the table. This is something they've kept a secret from nearly everybody in the capital. So it's a big deal for Snow to be able to manipulate his way to getting a scholarship to university. During the reaping, we get to meet all of the tributes. And of course, we get to meet Snow's tribute from District 12. He ends up with the female tribute, Lucy Grey Baird. She is a unique individual who has a sing-song personality. She wears a rainbow ruffled dress to the reaping because she has that star personality. You can tell she is a performer and loves to be on stage in front of a camera. Snow is the first one of the mentors to try and bond with his tributes when they arrive in the capital. He finds out very quickly that Lucy Grey is a star and really has an appeal to the audience. She can really connect with people, children and other people, to get to pay attention to her. And Snow just wants to figure out a way to use that to his advantage. This is his early workings of seeing how the games work, how they can be used, and what purpose they serve in all of Panem. So let's talk about the things that I liked. Tigress. She's one of the other characters that appeared in the original Hunger Games trilogy. Do you recognize the name? She is the former stylist in the Hunger Games that actually lets Katniss and her crew hide in her basement while they are trying to invade the capital in Mockingjay. So it was really fun to see her backstory and how it ties into the actual eventual Hunger Games where everything comes crumbling down around Panem. I won't give a spoiler of who she is, but it was awesome. It was a good little perk to the story. The Hunger Games origins. You would probably assume that the games were always as structured as what we saw in the original trilogy. Well, they weren't. It took them a while to build up and develop exactly what they were going to be. So seeing the humble beginnings of the games themselves, everybody just kind of thrown into an arena, battle it out, few weapons left in there, some debris left over from the war. That's it. To what we know today. During this process, we actually get to see little insights of how they came up with the eventual things that happen in the Hunger Games. So it was really kind of cool to see the origins of where it all began, even though it's kind of dark and grim. And there's an Easter egg in the last third of this book that was so fantastic. It just put a smile on my face, and I felt so good about it. It was just perfect. It's a total spoiler, so I'm not going to tell you what it was, but that was worth me pushing through reading this. Snow lands on top. They say this so much that I wanted to throw the book through a window. It irritated me so much. It felt like so much entitlement and arrogance, just repeating it over and over. I just couldn't find myself being able to connect to the character of Coriolanus Snow. This just irritated the crap out of me. I did not want anything to do with it. And please, Suzanne Collins, stop trying to make me like the guy, okay? The ending didn't fit for me. The way it ended feels a little abrupt. It also feels like 2 pages before, the same words that were being used here didn't match what happened over here. And the flip-flop of how it happens just seemed really out of place to me. So it wasn't a solid ending for me. All right, let's discuss. When this book was announced as a prequel to The Hunger Games, were you excited? Were you excited or disappointed to find out that this would be a President Snow origin story? Let me know in the comments below what you think, and if there was somebody else you wanted to have an origin story of or a backstory to, just let me know. I'd like to hear what you have to say. What inspired me with a book that I didn't really like? Well, Lucy Grey Baird. She was such a character. She had so much sparkle that fell off the pages. I loved her. She was a really great, inspiring character in and of herself. Her situation was something that she knew she had no control over, but she was going to handle it the best way she knew how. So Lucy Grey's energy and her rainbow dress were the inspiration for this project. So I've got a little rainbow and a little charcoal because, it is District 12 put together into this project. So I will get that sewn up and come back and show you what I came up with. Open crafting castle for business.
I think there is a natural goodness built into human beings. You know when you have stepped across the line into evil, and it's your life's challenge to try to stay on the right side of that line.
A special thanks to Sofilantes Patterns for allowing me to test this pattern. One of my favorite aspects of this pattern are the angles used for the color blocking. A lot of sewists make it a goal to line up stripes so that they match. Matching stripes was the opposite of my goal for this project. Lucy Grey Baird is so fun and colorful, I felt like matching stripes was too structured for her personality. This fabric was being exceptionally challenging. It kept curling up on me, so I had to use extra clips. The back neckline of this pattern is V-shaped. Using a sewing machine instead of a serger will give you a much cleaner look and less bulk. This pattern calls for inset sleeves, so you will construct the sleeves in full before you attach them. Not everyone likes inset sleeves, but I always feel like it's a cleaner look attaching them in the round. Time to attach the skirt to the bodice and work in my gathers. Now let's get these ruffles locked into place.
Power down, Crafting Castle.
Well, as they said, it's not over until the mockingjay sings.
Rating for this book was 3 stars. I felt like I just couldn't connect with wanting to care about what happened to Snow or what his situation was. I really was less interested in him as the character, and I wanted more details about what was going on in the games and the tributes rather than him. So when it's told from his perspective, it just didn't really catch my desire to want to read these. But I did still rate it a 3 because I think a lot of people will still really enjoy it. I think people will have a different perspective about it than I did. And I think that Suzanne Collins has an excellent writing style, and she has a way of compelling people to enjoy what they're reading. It wasn't for me. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed what I had to say about A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel for future installments of my bookish sewing goodness. And be sure to ring the bell so you get notified every single time there's a new video uploaded. See you next time.